Welcome back. November is Lung Cancer Awareness Month, a time to recognize and bring attention to one of the most common and deadly cancers worldwide.
And joining us to talk about lung cancer is Dr. Brian Curtis from OSF. Good morning.
Good morning.
It's been a while,
It has.
but you've been doing some fun things.
Yeah, I have.
So we're gonna change it up though, and talk about lung cancer. There's actually two different types that I didn't realize. So can you kind of differentiate the two so people understand that?
Sure. We differentiate them into non-small cell and small cell. So non-small cell are like squamous, adeno, which are the really common ones, about 80 or 90% of them. And then small cell is about 10%, and it tends to be more aggressive. But most of the stuff we see is non-small cell.
Okay. What are some of the risk factors behind the disease? Yeah, can you go into that part? Because when I think of lung cancer, and it runs in my family, and even when I cough, I'm like, oh God, I hope, everything's okay with my lungs. So what are the risk factors?
The largest one obviously is smoking. So that accounts for about 80–85% of all lung cancers. Then there's industrial exposures. Then there's passive smoke, secondhand smoke. The radon in the house, and then there is some genetic predisposition to lung cancer.
All right, so of course just being healthy overall is important, but are there any early warning signs that we should be looking out for that kind of indicate we may start having those first stages of lung cancer?
Yeah, so lung cancer tends to be asymptomatic or no symptoms initially, but you can start getting cough. Some people have chest pain, weight loss, fatigue. Sometimes frequent lung infections, where you have a lung infection that won't clear, can actually be a sign of lung cancer. And so those tend to be the ones, but cough and hoarseness tend to be the big ones.
Okay. Interesting. Are there ways people can prevent the disease? And of course, the most obvious being don't smoke.
Yes. So smoking is obviously one. So, and it's never too late to stop. And then industrial exposure. So if you have recommendations for like what to wear at work, wear it.
Yeah.
Because around diesel, silica, asbestos, some of the other chemicals will cause it to happen, leading a healthy lifestyle and then avoiding secondhand smoke.
Okay.
Well, so you talked about obviously it's never too late to quit smoking, which obviously is good news for a lot of people. But when we look at lungs that have gone through years of smoking versus the lungs that have never smoked a day in their life, if people suddenly quit after years of going through that, is there a way to restore it back to the healthy way it once was?
That's a good question.
Yeah, it never goes back, right? But it does stop the damage from occurring, and you actually get some recovery. And so people that stop smoking are better than people that continue to smoke, but aren't the same as people that have never smoked. But stopping is probably the #1 thing to do.
Absolutely. All right, and what are some of the treatment options here in Central Illinois if someone does find that they do have lung cancer?
Well, we have the Cancer Institute down at OSF, right? And so if there's ever any questions, that's a good place to talk. But really depending upon the stage and your health conditions, chemo, radiation, surgery tend to be the big option. But the biggest opportunity is actually screening. And so if you smoke and you're between 50 and 80, or if you've smoked in the last 15 years and you're 50 to 80, there is a screening test called a low-dose CT, where they actually go in and do a low-dose CAT scan of your lungs, looking for nodules or early tumors. And that's a great screening test, because the sooner we detect it, the better outcomes you will have.
Yeah, good deal.
I mean, a lot of good information. Obviously, it's important to know what resources you can receive and go to for help. But of course, it's always a pleasure having you, and thank you so much.
Thank you.
Of course.
And we're going to share all these details on our website, ciproud.com. Click on the WMBD This Morning tab right under News.